The forgotten birthday in the quiet town of Willow Creek, where porch swings creaked in the summer breeze and kids raced bicycles down cracked sidewalks, lived a boy named Ethan Hayes. He was 10 years old, with brown hair that always fell into his eyes and a smile that could light up a room if anyone bothered to notice. Ethan wasn't the loudest or the funniest in class. He wasn't the star athlete or the kid with the newest sneakers. What made him stand out was his kindness. He shared his crayons without hesitation, held doors open for teachers, and always gave his last piece of candy to a friend. But there was something Ethan carried quietly inside it, deep longing to feel special, to feel seen. The forgotten date was March 14th, his birthday. He woke up early, heart buzzing with hope. Birthdays were supposed to be magical, right? Balloons, cake, maybe even a surprise. But as he padded into the kitchen, his excitement faded. His mom, worn out from working double shifts at the diner, was already rushing out the door. "Bye, honey. There's cereal on the counter," she called, keys jingling. "Okay," Ethan whispered, his voice barely reaching her before the door shut. At school, the day dragged. His classmates chattered about an upcoming field trip, about baseball practice, about video games. No one remembered, not even his teacher, who usually kept track of birthdays on a calendar. By lunchtime, Ethan sat alone with his peanut butter sandwich, trying not to cry. He told himself it didn't matter, that birthdays were just another day. But deep down, it hurt. The little note after school, Ethan stopped by the library, his favorite escape. Miss Parker, the librarian, greeted him warmly. She was one of the few adults who always noticed him. "You're quiet today, Ethan," she said, adjusting her glasses. He shrugged. "Just tired, I guess." Miss Parker smiled knowingly. "Sometimes, when I feel invisible, I write myself a note. A reminder that I matter. Want to try?" Ethan hesitated, then nodded. She handed him a scrap of paper and a pen. He wrote slowly, "I matter. Even if no one remembers, I matter." He folded the note and slipped it into his backpack. What he didn't know was that Miss Parker glanced at the date on her desk calendar. March 14th. Her heart sank. The ripple begins the next morning. Ethan walked into school expecting another ordinary day. But when he opened his desk, a small cupcake with a candle sat waiting. Beside it was a card. "Happy birthday, Ethan. You are seen." Miss Parker, his eyes widened. His classmates gasped. "It's your birthday." Suddenly, kids who had ignored him the day before surrounded him. "Happy birthday, Ethan. Why didn't you tell us? You should have said something." For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt noticed. The chain reaction word spread quickly. At recess, a group of kids gathered around him, singing a clumsy version of Happy Birthday. Jason, the popular kid on the basketball team, handed Ethan a pack of gum. "It's not much, but happy birthday, dude." Even the teacher, Mrs. Collins, apologized. "I can't believe I missed it. Ethan, let's celebrate with extra reading time for you today." Ethan's smile stretched wide. It wasn't about the cupcake or the gum. It was about being remembered, about feeling like he mattered. That night, as he placed Miss Parker's card on his dresser, Ethan whispered, "Best birthday ever." Years later, time moved on, as it always does. Ethan grew up, carrying that day in his heart like a lantern. The memory of being seen, of one small act of kindness, turning everything around, never left him as an adult. Ethan became a teacher. He kept a calendar on his desk, carefully writing down each student's birthday. Every year, no matter how busy, he made sure each child felt special. Sometimes it was a cupcake, sometimes a handwritten note, sometimes just a few extra minutes of his time. And every time he handed a child that simple gift of recognition. He thought of Miss Parker, the librarian who had lit his candle when his world felt dark, the Moralethans. Story reminds us that sometimes the smallest gestures carry the greatest weight. A note, a cupcake, a single moment of being seen. We don't always know the battles people fight quietly inside. We don't always see the invisible ache. But when we choose kindness, when we take the time to notice someone, we create ripples that last a lifetime. Because being remembered, being valued, can turn the loneliest day into the brightest one. And sometimes, the difference between despair and hope is just one person who chooses to care.